Hi, my name is Zachary Angela, and I wanted to go over what I was working on that I have been working on for a while. And basically, it's just like a CLI training thing that uh, allows, well, within a certain scope of maybe programming words, try and predict your intent a little. So if you just go run that, it'll kind of tell you, oh, you're supposed to specify a command for training. And basically, this one, the word to vec, is kind of how it gathers vocabulary. Train mo is for the model mo to train it. It does take a bit of time currently. And training intent classifier, which just basically is a model to guess your intent. And this is a query to that model. Basically, it's using both. So, well, all three, I guess you could say. So, as is right now, I kind of have it optimized to certain commands, and that part of that is because of the training data that's involved. As you can see, the main.go file is just that CLI basically, and it'll run each one. The training data, as you can see, there's a lot. It's not using all of them. Some of that is predecessory stuff. And the actual models are in the got model folder. So these are the things that actually get generated, that it kind of chooses. And I chose the GOB because databases, I don't know, resetting them because I have to iterate so much is sort of ridiculous. So this just creates the GOB file and then deletes it and then creates it. And Go parses GOB files really well. It's built for Go. Anyways, so you would run your mo inference command. You would query a certain string, and right now it's trained on general commands, I guess you could say. So if we hit it, we could see what it spits out. Debug, and this is the parent intent, and so these are like the vocabularies of the parent intent right now. As you can tell, it sort of kind of tries to gather intent vocabulary based off of your query, but right now it's very much optimized the training data on computer commands, and this is the child vocabulary, that's kind of where what it runs through to be chosen. This can change depending upon what training data you have, what query you have, so on and so forth. I actually have it reading books and stuff. You could see certain text files and everything, just because I wanted a wide array of things that it can learn from or build vocabulary on. That to me is important. And it'll kind of choose the top 3 words based off your query, and this is its kind of confidence level. As you can tell, it's not the most optimized thing if web server creation is almost as confident as code. Um, and then that's for the parent intent prediction. The child one is create data structure, and that one I guess seems a little more accurate. But again, the training data is kind of more based on computer commands. If if you do some that's way out of bounds, well, even if you change up the commands a little, it's not totally. I just didn't train for it. But if you make it do some that's not trained on, um, it tries. It'll kind of get there, sort of. Well, kind of not specifically to delete, which is not that. Why did it choose? Oh, because that's the number one confidence level. Yeah, it just couldn't, I guess, out of the child vocabulary, um, give the server TLS. Yeah, I just didn't even put TLS in its vocabulary or anything, I guess. So I just thought, sure, delete. um, like I was saying, I mean, if you did like, you know, go fishing at night, it's just not. Right now, it's going more on the whole uh, computer command vocabulary than just straight up vocabulary. And part of that was because initially it was just doing regular vocabulary, but the problem with that was the vocabulary was huge, and what it would spit out was just complete nonsense. I mean, it would know where to put words, but the intent prediction part of it was just, and you could tell I almost overly optimized for the intent for the computer commands, and that has to do with the training data. I think this is it. Yeah, see, and if I were to change these up into other ones like fishing, or it would then pull up different kinds of fishing words. Um, and why do all this? Well, so that other people can have a training model of their own. There's no dependencies whatsoever on this, as you can see, and it does profiling, so you can run that as well. I still need to optimize it because the mode training kind of does take quite a while to run, more than I would really like. But I had optimized it before, and then I unoptimized. As you can tell, it just it'd be a while, a little bit for right now, because I didn't retouch it again. Um, which is fine, whatever. Um, so well, I don't want to use up all the memory. Video recording right now, and VS Code, all my extensions and everything. I mean, it probably wouldn't run out of memory, but it'd probably get a little hot. Anyways, so I'll probably make more videos on exactly what's going on, or I might end up changing it a lot. But the relative thing of it is this mo folder and the neural folder, or you could kind of backtrack it from the CLI commands, I guess you could say. Um, it uses that whole multi-expert model and the gateway and all that. I did use Gemini to help me out with a lot of subs. I didn't necessarily know a lot about it. As you can tell, a lot of the BART and RAG stuff was kind of removed because this is a lot better. It's just a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot more accurate. The RAG is more for filtering descriptions, which you could always use, I guess. And then BART and BERT, they are more for encoding, and I think BERT does decoding, encoding. But the problem with those models are it's huge. It's just one big model. And if anything goes wrong with a certain forward or backwards function somewhere, you're not necessarily going to know what's going on. Whereas with this, it's split up apart. It chooses certain experts to run certain forward and backwards functions, and that's based off of just its I forgot the name of the function, but it's basically its score. If its score is high enough, it will be chosen for that to run. So it tries to optimize it depending upon what kind of model is set up, which is neat and nice and a little bit easier to deal with. The code I didn't refactor yet or anything. It's still messy and complicated and wordy, which I don't like. But it does allow you to train for certain things and be able to then know your command, why you have that. Um, like I initially had said, I don't really like lists of lists. That stuff, uh, doing a CLI command and pop up a list and then having to search for it. I even in my other project um, had a thing where you could search for commands, but even that, I just don't like doing that. It's a bunch of manual work. And yeah, setting up training is, well, you could just ask Gemini to give you the training data and just copy paste it in and then boop. Um, so you'd be able to skip all that um, and have the CLI and a part of it that you could use that I think would be really useful is when you do have these intent things. I'm going to work on doing sentences so it's a little bit more than 1 or 2 words. You can have it spit out the tagging, the NLP tagging, like verb, not, whatever it is. And from there, if you want to do logic, you would have this kind of be the keyword for your command per se, and then have the tagging split it up between names and numbers and so on and so forth. So technically, you can have it, um, I guess you could say, guess your command, and with that logic, know how many, I don't know, files you want to create or generate or whatever it is that you're doing. Um, but my next thing is definitely going to be intent sentences rather than this kind of guessing 3 word some another, which isn't, it's useful, but it's not great. Um, I also removed the whole thing where it generates training data and asks you whether or not it worked out well or not. I may add that in the future. The problem is I keep changing things, so it's sort of not that useful a thing to try and keep upkeeping. But yeah, that's basically the project. It's just a bunch of functions, nothing special, no dependencies, no framework, no any of that stuff. It's just Go. It just compiles. You don't have to worry about anything. There's, like I said, there's some stuff that was kind of left over a little bit that I got to go through and delete. But for the most part, it works. And I didn't update the README yet. That's something I got to do. But again, I changed it so much, and I've had to re-update that README so many times that I'm gonna, I might just generate some and flop that up there and be like, sure. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, thank you.